One of the most critical things to shooting well, and we've all learned this over the years, is you can have a rifle or a pistol that's superbly accurate, great sights, great optics, whatever, but without a good trigger pull, your ability to shoot well is going to be really dramatically handicapped. Wilson Combat recognized that many years ago. One of the things that I can tell you, no matter where you go, people brag about on the Wilson Combat 1911s are great triggers. Well, when Bill and Ryan got into the AR business, one of the things they recognized that no matter what you do, if the gun comes with a bad trigger, you're never going to get the results you want. The end result is, what Wilson Combat did is they started looking at a series of trigger applications, and they basically came up with and marketed a trigger pull that meets the end user's needs. They currently offer about 5 different trigger units. And if you'll notice, one thing is they're a captive unit, which means all the parts are held together. So the process of replacing the trigger in your rifle is really simple. You don't have to be an armor or a gunsmith. You can change your trigger parts just about with ease. They offer different ones. For example, this one is considered what we refer to as a mil spec one. It's a single stage trigger, means when you put your finger on the trigger, get ready for a loud noise. It's about 5.5 pounds, but the best part about it is it's a very crisp, clean 5.5 pounds. Now, one of the problems you see, if those of you that are into the AR business know that when you buy a lot of ARs off the shelf from other vendors, they come with lower parts kits. That means that when you pull the trigger, you wonder if it's got a sear or a broken hacksaw blade for a hammer release system. I mean, a lot of them are hideous. You need a good trigger to do good works, folks. And Wilson Combat's kind of covered the whole range. You got a mil-spec trigger, but a very crisp and precise one. They offer another single trigger unit, which basically is one that's a little bit lighter. 5.5, you're more down into the 4 range, more of a precision trigger. It's one, for example, that is on this rifle right here. They offer, for those people that are into the 3-gun competition, who want a competition trigger, very light, very crisp, very little weight, and it's typically those are in a 2-stage. This one gives you probably, I'm going to guess, and I haven't checked it, but it's probably you're closer to 3.5 pound range. Not a trigger that you're going to put in a working gun or self-defense gun, but for a competition gun, a very practical unit. They also offer a TTU trigger unit. It's a 2-stage, and the thing about it is it's a trigger that is going to give you the application you want, 4 to 5 pound range, but in a 2-stage. So in essence, it's a working trigger. It's a trigger, for example, that I would consider extremely practical for a working gun or self-defense gun. They make a special trigger now. As many of you know, they offer a version of the AR carbine that's basically built to Paul Howell's spec. And those of you that don't know Paul Howell, you need to Google him up. Great dude, good instructor, top-notch guy. And he's hooked up with Wilson Combat. They offer a product line of rifle built to his specs, and they also make a trigger. And basically, it's a 2-stage trigger, but it comes up closer to, if you will, to the mil spec of about a 6-pound trigger. And his attitude is, I don't want a trigger that under stress, cold hands, gloves, whatever, I'm going to accidentally release. So it's designed based upon Paul's decision that I want a practical trigger, but a clean, crisp trigger that will work under adverse conditions. So Wilson Combat offers a complete array of the TTU units. The best thing, they're encapsulated, easy to change. They're made of top tool-grade steel. The durability is now well established. These things really work, and they work really well. You pick one that meets your needs. Remember, whether it's a duty trigger or a competition trigger, it's got to be one that you can shoot proficiently with. Pick one wisely, and you will be pleased.